All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Me here, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there just like you, just like me. All right, I promoted this the other day, got some interesting reactions from a few folks. Book of Numbers, this is called Magic, and it came out last year. I don't think anybody owns the CD other than yours truly. It took about a week for me to get this delivered. But at least they sent it. Look at that guy right there. The guy on your right or your left, depending on your perspective, right? Dave, he's on the right. Okay, fine. He looks a tad like Ozzy. So yeah, those guys are really cool. It's not even in my wheelhouse, much like the music of Skid Row. Skid Row and Kiss are going on tour together, at least for a few select dates. Skid Row talks about this. Rachel Bolan and Dave Sabo, who are out there being really diplomatic and nice, talking about being on tour with Kiss and freaking out because it is a big deal. Being inspired by old Gene Simmons, because Gene was the reason I even picked up a bass guitar in the first place. It's why I learned to play the bass. This is according to the bass player, Rachel Bolan. But anyway, I'm really excited about Skid Row, and they're not, again, my favorite band or anything, but I'm glad they're putting like the ghost of Sebastian Bach behind them. He's a character, huh? He's just a guy. I love to listen to him talk. When he says stuff, man, I'm like 180 degrees the other direction. When he opens his mouth, I go, really? You're a health expert? Gee, I didn't know that, Sebastian Bach. That's great. Gee, you're an expert on locking down the population? Yeah, you're just a great guy. So anyway, if you didn't know, Skid Row, they have a new singer. His name is Erik Gronwall, and he's phenomenal. He's amazing, and everybody is saying it, okay? Just spectacular. And if you haven't heard Skid Row's latest album, it's called The Gang's All Here. It is a throwback to 1991. I mean, that is good news for fans of this genre, and it's not overproduced. Sounds like a Skid Row album. The material is good. You got some complaining from people who don't like the lyrics because they're not singing about the stuff you're supposed to sing about. They're kind of singing about the stuff that bands back in 1981 used to sing about, which in a way I think is great. Okay, now I've kind of moved on, with all the chicks and all the weird stuff. You get older and stuff is just, it's kind of inappropriate, we'll say this. But I like the spirit of it because it really is the kind of music that you would hear 30 plus years ago. And they have a singer who can deliver it, who sings everything in the original key. So even if you're a fan of just the old stuff by Skid Row, 18 in Life, I Will Remember You, whatever that song. See, I've got the titles mixed up. This is how much I have not been a huge Skid Row fan. But, Youth Gone Wild, Dave. Come on, get with the program. Don't you know your Skid Row? Okay, Youth Gone Wild, yes. So this isn't, your Youth Gone Wild. This is a band who was once great, and they were okay after they were once great, but they're not as great as they used to be. However, they are really close to where they were originally. Yeah, the song is I Remember You. So, the brain sometimes is not firing on all cylinders, and that's because, I've gotten a bit older. And again, I don't listen to Skid Row every day, but when I first heard these new songs and I heard this new singer, Erik Gronwall, I was like, holy crap, Batman, they did it. They found a replacement who's probably as good, if not better, than their original singer. So well done, Skid Row. Kiss really needs to be careful that Skid Row doesn't steal the show. unless, it's just about pyrotechnics, in which case Kiss probably has nothing to worry about because people are going to see the show and they don't really care that much about, whether the music is performed without artificial intelligence. I'm thinking Skid Row is playing everything live and just doing it the way bands used to do it many years ago. So yeah, check out Skid Row if you haven't. Even if you don't like Skid Row, I'm telling you, this is just what a revival. This is something that I think a lot of people didn't expect from this band that was endlessly searching for a singer, and they don't have this huge catalog. But man, this has totally revitalized the Skid Row brand. Here's Book of Numbers. I don't think this is biblical. I'm just throwing it out there to everybody who thinks that this might be an Old Testament band or something with songs like Magic and the Jester's Crown. Who knows? Maybe I'll have to have these guys on and talk about what these songs are about and what their belief system is. You'd be surprised. A lot of people kind of pretend to be something that they're not in order to get attention, because that's the way apparently you do things. And it's been that way for quite a long time in the rock and roll business, as even old Ozzy himself, I don't think is a devil worshiper. I just don't think so. I think it was all kind of a gimmick, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong a few times. Anyway, folks, please subscribe to the channel if you can. We're getting close to 65K. I don't usually do the bean counting, but I'm a little excited since everything is kind of ground to a halt to some degree. But anyway, subscriptions and Patreon, we can have a good conversation over there, and also YouTube memberships. Every so often, I'm going to be putting a members video together and putting it out there for just members to watch. So that'll be exciting. I think I've done one already. And as soon as I get a few more members out there, I think I had like 8 views on that video. Look at me, but anyway, I need a few more members. I think it's $2.99 a month to be a member. And yes, it supports the channel when the algorithm goes the opposite direction. I rely on nice people who like what I do. So that's kind of it, folks. Thanks for watching. And again, I will see you soon.